Kickin' with Kailah on HB Radio.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Kickin' It with Kailah. I have Mikey here.
And we have somebody that's like really huge.
Huge.
Like a legend.
Like not like social media huge, like actually huge.
4-time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler in the building. What up, Jay?
What's up?
Mikey's bodybuilding role model as a kid.
Yeah, you know you were my role model growing up?
Well, we worked out together a lot.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
But not growing up.
No, like when I was a teenager.
Maybe it's like an East Coast thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You were in magazines, and we wanted to be in the magazines with you. You know?
Did you ever have a Jay Cutler like anything hanging in your room?
I definitely had the magazine, the front covers from the Muscle and Fitness from back in the day.
Yeah, man. I started at a young age, and I met a lot of people that were fans that became good friends, and it's pretty cool.
And now he trains me, and he calls me a pig all the time.
Okay, we're gonna get into all that. Let's backtrack a little. So we always start out the show with a little like icebreaker thing. And it's kind of like a 90s based show. So
She has some good icebreakers for you, so I'm sure you already got some good answers.
who was your 90s crush?
Heather Locklear.
Oh, that's a new one.
I don't know if that was 90s though.
I think so. I think she's still. Didn't we just
I
watch
mean,
something
Listen,
with
I
her?
had a poster of her on my wall with a sports car. I think it was like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something. Or like she used to wear like the high workout socks. Like,
Yeah.
And they wore like the nylons, and then they wore it was like a
Like the high-waisted booty shorts.
like a full one-piece bathing suit, and that's how the girls used to go to the gym in the thong.
No.
Yeah.
They worked out like that?
Yes, it was dope actually.
It was dope.
That's at the gym where I started training actually in Worcester, Massachusetts. All the girls used to wear like the tights, and then they'd wear like the thong one piece.
What the hell?
The kind that everyone wears when you're going to like an 80s party with the sweatband.
Yes, that's how it
No
was.
way.
But now the girls in Vegas just wear the one piece and no tights underneath.
We like going to the gym out here, babe. There's a reason.
Imagine if I showed up to LVAC like that with the sweatband.
You know what? You would fit right in.
Honestly, I've seen crazier things there.
All right, I have my next one for you. What was your favorite 90s musician or 90s band that you like, I don't know, train to, listen to, whatever it might have been?
I didn't train as much. Let's see, I started training in 91. So, I mean, there was a lot of different like top 40 stuff, but believe it or not, like I listened to Journey and like The Doors.
Really?
If that's like even, it's not really relevant with like getting pumped up, but I watched the Rocky music was always inspiring. I mean, Sylvester Stallone was why I started working out. And I watched like Rocky 4. That's when I was 12.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, I want to be like Rocky and Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren. So for me, it was like those physiques were the ideal. And then of course that music, the soundtrack, Rocky 4 soundtrack was like that was my soundtrack. I listened to that in my Walkman headset.
That's awesome.
Walkman headset.
She doesn't even know what that is.
Yeah, okay, yes I do. And I'm just imagining Jay Cutler with a Walkman.
But we used to wear like the fanny the fanny packs.
Yeah.
Like the what do you call them? I don't know if they're called
Yeah,
fanny
they're
packs.
fanny pack.
But I would put my Walkman inside that, and the cord would be up. And that was before the Velcro like sleeve came on and all that stuff. So we would put it in the fanny pack and play our cassettes in there.
That's crazy.
The cassette Walkman.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Bringing it back. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Oh.
I mean, this actually kind of all ties together because you said you started working out in 91.
I was 18, yeah.
So, and this is 90s based show, so you're like perfectly fitting in right now.
Yeah, this is
and
good.
And that was the year before I was born.
Yep. I was born in 92. It's crazy. I'm 80s, baby. I was born in 85.
So we do a little segment. It's called From the Ground Up, where you kind of tell us like how you got here, where you're from, and kind of everything in between.
From the ground up, who is Jay Cutler?
Yeah.
I was active as a kid. I grew up the youngest of 7 kids, and I was like one of those kids that was always outdoors doing stuff. I was athletic. I was kind of talked into playing sports in high school, even though I really didn't like participating in team stuff. I was kind of an introvert, but I was very active and I was very muscular. I worked in concrete from early age, like 11, so I spent a lot of time working in my family business, and that's how I developed my body, and everyone always used to make comments on how my physique was. So I said, you know what, when I graduate from high school, maybe I'll try lifting weights. And I joined the gym my 18th birthday, and pretty much the rest is history. I was successful at putting on muscle, and I was close into competing for free gym membership, actually.
No.
I was told like, if you compete in our local show, we'll give you a membership for free.
Which gym was that?
Gold's Gym in Worcester, Mass.
Oh.
So they had like a local, it was like a closed show. It wasn't like NPC or like the organizations that we compete in. It was just like a sanctioned show. It was held at like Greek church. And I actually competed in that. And, you know, I started cleaning equipment at the gym to offset the $300 membership, too, because that's what I paid when I first joined.
$300 back in the day?
Yeah, back in
Why
91.
was it so expensive?
It was more expensive then.
It was Gold's Gym, and that's what, you know, everyone wanted to train there. So I remember sitting there. I remember August 3rd, 1991 is when I actually joined the gym. I remember sitting in the gym that evening. I got out of work at like 6 o'clock, and the gym closed at 10. And I remember joining the gym, and then I sat there after I joined at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I watched people just come and go, and like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna start working out. And then I just started learning by watching the guys picking up scrap magazines in the gym, and I learned. And then I became better than everyone else within 6 months, 8 months in the gym. I was like the biggest kid, and people were coming to me for advice, and I didn't have any idea reading what I was doing. So then I just started, you know, I started competing as a teenager, won teenage nationals, became the best teenager in the country at 19. That was in North Carolina. And then, of course, I got my first trip to California. I actually got cheap tickets on a misprint in the Boston Globe, which was a magazine. So I was able to fly round trip for $99.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to see Gold's Gym Venice for the first time. And I remember walking in and seeing the walls and seeing like the Mr. Olympias up there and saying, man, if I could ever have my picture there. And next thing you know, I left California, went back to Mass, decided to compete again. When I was 22, I went to California again 2 years later and won a show there. Got my first Muscle and Fitness cover, which back then was a huge deal.
It was everything.
I mean, that's like social media, like, you know, having millions of followers. I mean, landing the cover of Muscle and Fitness worldwide. You're in every magazine aisle, and you're in the grocery store aisles right as you check out. So I was standing there with a girl at 21, and like that was, I had made it, right? And then I just got paid. I got a contract with Joe Weider, who brought Schwarzenegger over, endorsing all supplements. And next thing you know, I was competing, winning money in pro shows, and eventually working my way up to winning Arnold Classics, Mr. Olympias, and then I retired at 40. So about 6 years.
So he is retired now. He is retired.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Even though he's still huge.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
So I competed for over 20 years professionally, became the best in the world 4 times over, losing in the middle. The most Mr. Olympias have a steady streak, you know, like Arnold won 7, you know, Dorian Yates won 6. The guy who beat Ronnie Coleman won 8, Lee Haney won 8. Phil Heath, who just lost recently, he won 7, but I won 2, and then I lost 1, and I came back and won 2 more. But I was runner-up 6 times at the Mr. Olympia, so 6 second places and 4 Mr. Olympia titles.
That's
insane.
Crazy.
And in 10-year span, so pretty much like that's the record of being that elite for that long.
Yeah.
It's insane.
We were talking about last night how there are other guys that have won more than you or whatever, and it seems like not all of them are as relevant as you are. And we were talking about how we think that maybe you could probably owe that to the upcoming social media and how you're staying like hip with all of that.
Well, I was in the transitional time, so I was a magazine guy that was able to transition like social media came about, and I grasped that. So back in 2008, I started shooting YouTube videos called Swole Monkey Productions, and that's when no one was even making residual money from YouTube. And then it became really big, and I kind of bailed on that because I got sponsored by magazines, like big endorsement deals, so I was kind of exclusive to like Muscular Development or Muscle and Fitness and Flex at the time. I was paid by both magazines, so I couldn't do my own content. And then of course that went to the wayside, magazines, and now, you know, social media has taken over, and I try to live it like, you know, I'm 25 years old. I mean, I post up things, you know, eating, training, activities like social life, relationship stuff. I try to get more comfortable in front of the camera, which is, like I mentioned, I was an introvert as a kid. I didn't speak unless I was really spoken to and asked questions. So I had to learn how to adapt and be more of a public figure like that. So I go around the world, I speak at events, I travel, I'm booked every week still. So I'm in all different cultures, and you know, I just live a very kind of cool lifestyle, even though it's very rigid still because I work a lot. But I still live that lifestyle of like, I train right, I sleep right, I eat correctly, And I use my career as kind of like a guide for a lot of the upcoming people that do want to be competitive, even if they're not competitive. Like, you still need to get out there. You need to promote yourself. You need to tell your story. And I think that's what society is learning now. And you see so many people without accolades become successful social media people.
Yeah.
What were going to say? What do you think about the Christian Guzmans of the world and the Bradley Martins? Like, what do you think about them kind of like becoming as popular, if not more popular, than the big boys? Like,
well, it's pretty crazy because Bradley, used to come hang around my booth, and we've been friends for years. He actually just hit me up 2 days ago about coming out and doing his podcast and training stuff. But I remember when he was, I hate to say nobody, but no one really knew him. He was trying to be a competitive men's physique guy. And then, of course, Christian, I watched his stuff and, became a fan of his whole business model.
Yeah.
And, he was shocked that I actually watch his stuff, right? So, it's just really cool that these guys were able to take that platform, showcase their life, and put everything on camera, even though the cameras are very invasive, right?
She knows reality TV.
Yeah, it's very tough, and it's tough on
a lot of work.
relationships. Yes, and I find myself, and I'll be honest with you guys, like I find myself doing things sometimes. I'm like, oh shit, that would have been great for camera, right?
Yep.
And I sometimes have to retake stuff because I'm like, man, I missed that moment, right? But it's just funny, the things that you don't realize people will catch are the things that usually people are more excited to see.
Yeah.
Where you think, okay, well, I'm a bodybuilder, I want to show myself like doing chest or whatever, but a lot of my people don't give a shit about that, to be honest.
They want to know about who you are, what you do in your daily life.
Yeah.
Things outside of bodybuilding, I'm sure, because they see you working out.
They want to figure out, okay, how do you balance?
Yeah.
And what's your mindset to do all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Go ahead and answer your own question.
It's it takes a certain person, but you have to be, you have to have the vision, right? You have to have the mentality to be able to, deal with the ups and downs, just like anything in life, right? It's not always going to be like perfect. I tell everyone, even like with the workouts, when I was training for Olympias, there's a lot of days I would go to the gym thinking this is going to be the best workout ever, and it was like the worst, and I'd leave halfway through. And then I'd be dragging my ass to the gym and saying, man, I don't want to train today. And then I'd have the best workout of my life, right?
Yep.
And, I travel, and travel, and it's a pain in the ass.
It's so hard on your body.
And, I miss flights, or flights are delayed, or the planes break, and you're sitting in an airport, you're hungry. Mm-hmm. My life kind of revolves still around what I eat, because obviously my physique is still what is kind of generating a lot of my income, as people still visually like to see me in shape, even being my age. So I have a lot of stresses of that. But I also have learned, I lived in a box for 20 years to be a professional bodybuilder, meaning I did nothing but eat, sleep, and train. I didn't have a social life, really. So now I've stepped out of that shell and now having much more of a social, even though it might not be partying and like, listen, I'm too old to be hanging out in nightclubs every night. I think we've discussed.
When we first met, he used to hang out in nightclubs.
Yeah, you still go.
Well, I was single, so I was on the prowl. But
that's actually a good point. That you're starting to show you in your relationship now. Me and Kailah show ours a lot, and I think fans actually like that. They like seeing the human side of you, in a way.
Well, they think, man, there's, it gives people hope that there's love out there, that, someone can be like, kind of like so celebrity, and you still can focus on one person, right? And you can be loyal to that person. I think that's important. If I was younger, that might be a little tougher for me, to be honest. I was married for a long time, but there came a point where I was single, and I was just like, I wanted a different girlfriend every week, right? Mm-hmm. Until you find the right one. And then, but you go through different phases in your life, and obviously I'm still in a building phase, I consider, because I'm building an empire. I work a lot, but I still find the time for the fun stuff, which is, dinners, movies, bowling, or, doing things kind of out of my element.
Yeah.
Yes. Taking trips, like spontaneous trips. But if you ask me, Jay, what do you like to do? I don't like to do anything.
Like to sit on the couch, right? Sit on the couch, watch some TV.
I spend time with my dogs, and anyone that watches my media knows I love my two little dogs, and they travel with me.
What are they, the Yorkies?
They're teacup Yorkies.
Two of them.
Yeah.
And they travel in a little bag with us. They're service animals, so we take them to the hotels. We take them. When I'm at a trade event, like LA Fit Expo, all those events, like the dogs are sitting in the corner and people don't even realize it. They think they're stuffed animals, you know? But the dogs are sitting there, and everyone always says, "Man, you're such a big dude. Why do you carry such little dogs?"
Yeah, like you would think that you would have like a big dog.
But man, if I was single, I'd get so many chicks with these dogs.
Honestly, I think it's true. I post a little pug once in a while, and people will be like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, to come to find out, it's actually her pug.
Well, I mean, you know how it goes, man. It's like,
oh, I've been there.
You go through different, media's weird, man. It's different. But I'm doing a ton of stuff with YouTube right now, so I'm showing
YouTube is
my
where
lifestyle.
Dude, Jay Cutler TV, almost 300,000 subscribers now.
Yeah, we were just looking at that last night. We're like, damn.
Yeah, so we do a lot of stuff, but we showcase a lot of new talent on there too.
I know. I'm ready to do my video.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll get you singing on there. We'll get you making some of these videos, those music videos and all that.
We can just do like a workout, like a ninja workout or something.
Imagine Jay swinging from things,
oh my
doing
God.
ninja workouts.
I wish I could. I wish my body weight was a little lighter. I mean, he took me to trampoline park.
I took him to the trampoline park before.
And he was trying to teach me how to do a backflip, and I just couldn't get all the way around. Man.
He was like Harambe.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But those
Did you record that? You should have been recording
I have it in my phone.
Yeah, we have it on. I posted it on my social media. I don't know if I did a YouTube video with that.
We had some fun, man. That was a good time. Actually, we could transition into that. We'll get back into bodybuilding stuff, but you do live in Vegas, and Kailah likes to always ask, why Vegas? Because she has her reason why Vegas, but why Vegas for you?
Because you're an East Coaster, right?
Yeah, you know what's funny is when I moved to California to be closer to Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazines. I was contracted, like I mentioned, Joe Weider. He was like kind of my mentor. And he moved me to California to be closer to shooting with the magazines. At the time, that was crucial. So I was around, like, shooting year-round. Like, I was one of the bodybuilders that stayed in awesome shape when I was, like, 25, 26, the early years. And I moved to Orange County, California, and, I adapted right away. It's like when you wake up, the sun's great, right? Mm-hmm. East Coast to me was just getting dreary and
I know.
unmotivating. So when I moved to California, I was super motivated. I started winning everything when I moved there. And then I actually took a short trip to Vegas to visit a friend, and I came here after 9/11 happened, and I saw the real estate market. I was like, damn, I can buy a property here. So I took all my earnings that I was winning, and I bought up real estate like crazy in Las Vegas. So I bought like 7 homes the first year I was here, and I ended up being like getting into with one of the builders, and I was basically flipping. I was, building homes and selling them by the time they would go to market, be finished. And then I got to commercial property, and for some reason I just stayed, and the gyms were more adaptive for me. 24-hour city, and Mikey knows, I mean, we train at all different, we train at a different gym every day for like 2 weeks straight.
Yep.
And be in a different facility. So back then they had Gold's Gyms. And the Gold's Gym was right around the corner here.
I think you took me to it one of the first times I trained with you.
Sand Hill Flamingo, it was amazing. It was like super hardcore, but I stayed because it was like a 24-hour city. I could train anytime. I was a middle of the night trainer for a little while. I was training like at 2 o'clock in the morning. Even though I didn't work a job or anything, I wanted to do what no one else did. And I didn't want to see people. So
yeah,
I would train super late. And it just, no state income tax and all the activity going on. So if I want to get in, I wanted to party, or I wanted to go to a show, or if I wanted to host people, man, Vegas was that. And what really was the clincher too is the Mr. Olympia had been held here since '99. So I moved here in 2002. So it was only 3 years here before I actually moved, and it's never left since. And this year being the ambassador for the Mr. Olympia, I was nominated.
Yeah, we were gonna get to that.
Now,
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I'm here. It's my city. I don't plan on leaving. I love Vegas. I mean, I deal with the summers. Everyone thinks it's super hot all the time, but we know July, August, September are pretty hot, right?
Yeah.
But the rest, like right now, is great, right?
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I love Vegas. The people, you meet a lot of great people. I don't really get in the circles that deep. I have very few super close friends, but I have a lot of acquaintances that I don't really necessarily call friends, but I'm friendly with, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just really it's a great place for what I'm doing.
Yep, and he just opened up his warehouse out here. I mean, they see you working. They see you working on your Snapchat and your Instagram. He's actually in there.
Yeah,
he doesn't have an assistant doing it.
Yeah,
He's doing that.
I ship a lot of the orders because I personalize a lot, but I just started a new nutrition company too, which launched about 3-4 months ago.
She tried the pre-workout.
Yeah, it's
The
having
Bomb Pop one?
yeah, it's having huge success right now. So, but mostly that's direct to consumer. I do have a warehouse in Pennsylvania that I am shipping from. So now, like, kind of we're combining both websites. It's just a work in progress of trying to just blow the brand up even further. So the clothing and all the accessories and all the memorabilia and the supplements will work all from one place.
Yeah. Originally, you were on with BPI, right?
Yeah, they were my partners, and I bought the brand from them last year, and I relaunched the new brand, repackaged, reformulated. It's not even close to the same thing. It's all up-to-date formulas because things advance, as you guys know that.
Yeah, I like the pre-workout you gave me. I used the Amplify Up right away.
Yeah.
And I heard you have like 18,000 shaker cups that you're trying to get rid of.
I actually have 90,000 shakers.
Oh my God.
So right now we're running a promo today. Actually, I don't know when this thing airs. But
Monday.
We gotta get rid of these.
I'm running a promo until the 22nd on a free cup with every purchase of supplements.
So if you guys want some shaker cups, it's gonna be available.
90,000. That's insane.
So my warehouse is full.
I've been to the warehouse. I see it. It's just.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've seen it since it's full.
I have to stop by now.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you were trying to get into like CBD and all of that soon too, right?
You know what? I was in cannabis. You know, I was an investor in a company called G5, which is an acquisition as we speak. So, you know, I was an investor in that. So I've kind of been around that for the last 4 or 5 years. And CBD, yes, it does interest me, although I don't really use it currently because I don't have a lot of pain. I don't have anxiety. I sleep great. I think it's benefiting a lot of people. I did buy some for my mom, and she is using it, and she has arthritis. She's 78, and she swears by it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I've heard it's amazing.
But you got to buy the right brand. You know,
Yeah.
there's certain brands out there that are great, and there's other ones that are just
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Are you still doing anything with that Bullet company?
Yeah,
I'm not currently. We have a machine for sale right now. We were actually cutting and cleaning brass with that machine, but it's actually sitting in my warehouse right now. I'm actually trying to sell it just because we don't have the hands really to run it right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like
that was the craziest, most random company I think.
Yeah, Mikey told me you had a Bullet company. I was like,
Yeah.
a what? I thought he meant like a blender company because that makes more sense.
I have my hands in everything, as you know. I mean, I could go on and on with all my different ventures, and you know, I'm mostly focused on honestly a lot of my branding now, like ebooks. I just launched the J Cutler Club, which is a membership club with training, and it's
Is that the
doing very
J-mail?
well. No, the J-mail is a free newsletter, but
Okay.
the Cutler Club, it's cutlerclub.com, is my online like group club membership thing. So I have training on there, nutrition. I do every 2 weeks I do live webinars, so I actually speak directly and people can ask directly. So it is work for me, but I love it because the fans are just so responsive, and you know, it's just the least I could do to give back to all the faithful people that have been there for the long haul with me, you know.
I think that's a huge reason why you stay relevant is also because you're like a business. You're not just like a business person. You are a business, and your hands are in everything. Everybody's seeing what you're doing, and they want to be involved. They want to get to know like who you are in this realm or in this realm. It's not just bodybuilding for you, and I feel like that's just keeps you going. I mean, I feel like you're just at 3 million followers on Instagram. I feel like it's gonna be at 4 million in a month.
Yeah, well, you know what? The thing is, you know me, right? So
Yeah.
I'm pretty like a mellow guy, right? I don't show a lot of emotions. I mean, go look at my victories and my losses at the Mr. Olympia. I figured that would be like your biggest, like that was one of the bigger achievements in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't have any reaction, you know, because it was kind of expected. And people, you know, even like Angie, you know, who's my fiance.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it'd be kind of hard to date you because of that.
She's always like, man, how come you have no reaction? Like, you just won the biggest title in the world, and she's competed, right? So she knows the thrill on a local level, right? And she's like, man, you just always the same. You don't get excited about much. I mean, like, nothing excites me these days. I'm excited just about life, but there's no like real situation where I'm like jumping for joy or.
What about 2006? Was that?
Wait, pause. I feel like you would be like the worst person to give Christmas presents to. Like, you know when you're just so excited to give something to someone and then they open it and you'd be like, thanks. Like,
that's kind of true.
I was so excited.
You know what? I hate when people buy me stuff.
Because of that, you don't want to give a reaction.
Yeah,
from
so
it.
I love buying people things, but I hate when people buy me things because I'm like, man, what do I?
You don't know how to
Mike,
react.
what do I really need at this point?
I know. I think it got everything.
I mean, if I want something, I'll go buy it. I mean, look, I have an iPhone 7 still. I don't, like, everyone's like, man, how come you don't have the 10? I'm like, well, I only text and do emails on it. I don't take selfies all day long. I mean, I shoot social media, but people don't know what kind of phone you're shooting with social media.
Exactly. That's true. I mean, what about 2006?
I bet you have a 10. I bet you have a 10.
No, I have the XR actually. The XR. We just
literally
upgraded.
just got him.
Is that the best?
No, it's like the one below.
Down from the best.
He's got the XS over there. He thinks he's fancy over there.
Damn, I have to leave here and go to the AT&T store.
I know. Come on, they're giving away free phones, Jake.
Yeah, 2006.
It had to have been a good moment for you.
You know what it was? It got to the point where I had been second four times to Ronnie. And when I actually beat Ronnie, it was like all about beating Ronnie, not even winning the Mr. Olympia, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because I was so popular being second, and like I didn't think it would change much. It changed drastically, honestly, for me. Like my popularity, like they rolled out red carpets for me everywhere after that. But not only to win the Mr. Olympia, but to beat what one would say arguably the greatest bodybuilder ever, Ronnie Coleman, who was like the unbeatable, right? He was going for number 9 to break the record, and I kind of halted that. And we were like, he was my nemesis, right? For so many years, like I had battled him since basically 2000, winning in 06, and then he was my idol before that, So when you talk about like, oh, you watched me and when you were younger, I watched Ronnie Coleman. And then eventually I was on stage beating the guy that was like my idol, right?
You gotta beat your heroes or beat your idols, Like senior idols
become your rivals.
Yeah, that's the saying.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
It is.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
and that was a huge achievement for me. If you said, well, what's the greatest achievement? I'd have to say that. I mean, to be the best bodybuilder in the world, like when I started at 18, I mentioned being on those walls at Gold's Gym Venice. You've been to Gold's Gym Venice, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I walk in that gym now, and forever in history, I'll be up there as a winner. There's only there's 14 guys right now that won it in 55 years, 60 years.
What?
Insane.
That's it?
Yeah, so and Schwarzenegger's won.
They just keep re-winning.
I mean, listen, there's only one guy that reaches the elite status to be the best bodybuilder on the planet, right?
That is crazy. I didn't realize that the number was so small.
And I'll be honest, like I never realized what an achievement it was until I retired for like 3 years, and then reality is like, holy shit, I'm that guy, right?
You got a second to like.
Yeah, because I was when I was competing, it was all about like I would win the Mr. Olympia on a Saturday night in September, and by midnight I was home. Instead of celebrating, I was saying to my wife or whoever I was with at the time, I was married most of the time, and it was mostly her, I'd say, okay, how can I win again? Right? So it was never satisfaction of, oh, I won it, let's party, let's take 4 months off and enjoy the process. It was about, okay, what was I lacking, and what do I need to improve on to be better when I come back to win it next year?
Do you think that, and we were having a kind of a debate about this, in order to be the best, do you think that you need motivation, or is it an obsession? Or both? You
have to be stubborn, number one.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? But you need to be super self-motivated. No one can push you. Meaning, The Rock has this saying, like, hardest worker in the room, and what you do when no one's there is like the work that you do, right? So like I was training at 2 a.m, or I was training at home in my early years. I have a home gym. I didn't give a shit who was around. I didn't do weights to impress anyone. I knew what I needed to do. So I found you have to find your own path, especially when you're writing your own legacy, right? So you're not following, I'm not following Ronnie Coleman or Dorian Yates' style. I was just creating my own. So self-motivated, a little stubborn, and just a no-lose mentality, meaning I'm the greatest no matter what. I still think if you really look at the whole scope of things, I'm the greatest bodybuilder there is, because you can look at the success factor, the consistency factor, you can look at the afterlife factor, right? I mean, 9 years ago,
I think a lot of people agree.
I haven't won the Mr. Olympia in 9 years. And listen, I'm not trying to be arrogant.
No.
But I'm just living, and I just do, and this is my opportunity to speak about it, but I'm just living my life, right? I haven't won the Mr. Olympia in 9 years. The Olympia approached me to be the ambassador, meaning, okay, I haven't won the Olympia in 9 years. There's been another guy that's won 7 and, you know, a new guy that won last year, and they're still looking for a face guy to help promote the event the right way. It's humbling, right? But you realize, okay, what's your worth, right? What have you done? What have you achieved? And look back at the history and the track record, especially where I came from, you know, being from a family that no one lifted weights, youngest of 7 kids, town of 6,000 people that no one ever leaves. And I was scared, you know, to ever leave. And I migrated to California on my own, ended up in Las Vegas, which, you know, this city can suck people up and spit them out, right?
Yep.
And I can live any life that I want to live. I've had fame and financial, like anything that I wanted to do. And Mikey would still say, come to the club. And I said, no, I'd rather stay at home and be like,
There's been a couple times where I got you there.
But I don't, you know, I don't party really. I mean, very rarely do I drink. I'm just not one of those guys. And I still, no matter how I was paid, because I could have lived any lifestyle I wanted, I still treated it like a job, right? And I loved what I did, and I still love what I do because I'm passionate. You have to have a lot of passion. You have to have a lot of things that create that hole to make you successful.
Yeah.
But you have to have a lot of self-belief too. I went into Mr. Olympia even against the best of the best, Ronnie Coleman, thinking I was going to win every year. And I was disappointed as hell when I got home and I didn't win. And when I won, and I wasn't at my best, because there's been some times I was pissed. And I would say, that's why I would be like, I can be better than this.
What year do you think that you brought your best body to stage?
2009. You know, I lost to Dexter Jackson in 8.
Is that when all the pictures on the wall, like Lift Factory has?
Like the quad stomp, like the famous quad stomp. Like, I came out and I was like, okay, this is what it's about, right? So I trained my ass off for that show, and I came out and I did that leg stomp, and that the show was kind of over at that point.
Yeah.
So if you look back and you search 2009 Mr. Olympia and watch how I just dominated that show, man, if I could have won like that every time, because people counted me out, which was even more exciting to me. And even the magazines, even some of my sponsors like turned their backs and like, oh, the new generation's coming. And I kind of just halted that whole thing. And actually my favorite cover of all time, I've had a million covers on magazines, was Flex magazine. It had Dexter Jackson and Phil Heath, who were touted as like the front runners for the 08 Olympia. It has me carrying the magazine cover and coming through the magazine.
That's awesome.
like
I need to find that picture.
Not quite yet, boys.
Not yet.
But Phil ended up winning later. Dexter, had one. He won in 08. And I he only won one.
Are you still friends with any of these?
Of course, yeah. I mean, these guys, listen, I helped a lot of these guys, and Dexter and I traveled together, but Phil came up under me. Like I kind of helped him with like the business side. And
Kailah was really happy that you were friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I won this show 3 times, and I'm actually closer to Arnold's son, Patrick. He's an actor. Like, he watched me as at 5 years old win Arnold Classics, which is crazy. Makes me feel so old.
Oh man,
no.
Your generation, right?
Yeah.
Actually, we can go. Oh my God.
What?
Kailah is huge into documentaries, and you do so many documentaries.
I've seen.
And we watch them all the time because they're all over Netflix. And
the Iron one.
Generation Iron. You know what's funny is Generation Iron came to me for the original one, which was Kai Green and Phil Heath as the stars, right? So they wanted to shoot that for the 2012 Olympia. That's where it was actually shot. And I tore my bicep in 11, and I lost to Phil Heath. I lost the time. I tore it 3 weeks out at the gym right around the corner, actually. And I had surgery in 12, and I was not going to be able to prepare. So I sat out, and I actually came back in 13. But they came to me first. They wanted to do this film. And I said, listen, I'm not going to compete. They said, well, we still want you to be the face guy as like the guy that has it all, right? And I'm like, I don't really want to be portrayed like that, right? Because I knew it was going to be around a financial thing, like, oh, Jay's made all the money, right?
Yeah.
So I sat out and I said, you know what, let you guys do it. Honestly, I wasn't a fan of that because they portrayed Phil Heath as like an asshole, right?
Yeah.
Which he's a nice guy. Kai Green was like the poor broke guy, which he has money. Like that was all. And then
it's like a reality show.
Like Dennis Wolf was, he's trying to be an actor, which really wasn't the case. And then you had like Hidetada, Yamagishi. So they just tried to like portray these characters that really weren't true.
That's
and then
really
of course,
weird. Like they don't need to do that.
Well,
I feel like
they needed to bring some. Like otherwise, what are you going to do? Watch guys eat chicken breasts and train all day? It's not the most enjoyable lifestyle, right?
It seems like when you do them though, you like educating, you like talking about your experiences.
So now like in 2 and 3. And recently, they just interviewed me for another one, the Ronnie Coleman documentary. Also,
I watched that one too.
I'm sure Kayla has questions.
So a lot of like now I just kind of do the commentary. Like this is what it was like to be there. So I actually participated after that, and I just shot recently in Pittsburgh for the Dorian Yates documentary and the Lee Priest that's coming.
Okay.
Cool.
The Ronnie Coleman one. I mean, I think you talked about it last night when we were discussing. But like, he's obviously gone through a lot of surgeries and injuries, and
that documentary was crazy.
It was very depressing. If anything,
it's so sad.
Well, like I said in the movie, like he's happy, right? He thinks the early stages of these surgeries is what caused now this worse thing. So I think there's a big dispute with that. He claimed it was a football injury way early. Definitely the training did not help it.
Yeah.
And he squatted 800 pounds and he did all that crazy shit. He trained a lot heavier than me, but his body's kind of a mess right now.
You think?
But he literally like lives for his kids and he's still in the gym training. From what he says, he's pain free now. But it was pretty awesome to compete with a guy like that. It motivated me a lot. I would never be the Jay Cutler in history books like I was without Coleman as my
nemesis.
That was.
And I hate
rival.
to say nemesis because we were good friends, and I had a lot of respect for him, and he was always respectful to me. He was just super confident on how he looked and him winning, right? So he went in every show thinking he was going to win. I thought I was going to win. And then it just ended up being a two-man show for many years. And these other guys really didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Until both of us kind of stepped away. And then it was like, now you got bodybuilding today, right? But people always will look back at the Ronnie Coleman Cutler era as like
100%.
Some of the greatest, right? Because it was the longest rivalry you ever had. I mean, the rivalry days started with Lou Ferrigno and Schwarzenegger, right? Mm-hmm. But that really wasn't as much of a rivalry.
Lou Ferrigno was the Hulk at one point. I feel like.
Oh, no way.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, he was in the movie.
There used to be a TV show.
Oh.
Called The Incredible Hulk, and Lou Ferrigno was the Incredible Hulk. He was painted green, and he would tear out.
Yeah, this is like no CGI.
Before they,
But now they have the movies. They're like the Hulk is now obviously an animated.
Yeah, of course.
But Ferrigno's been in the films.
Is he still big?
He's 6'5". He's just a big dude, but he's in acting now, and he's doing a lot of stuff with commercials and that thing. His kids are doing stuff with commercial stuff too, I believe.
So you do a lot of charity work and traveling around to do military things. Why do you?
Because I love it.
Yeah.
But I did Make-A-Wish Foundation. LA is kind of my charity, so I did charity camps with that, and I sponsor a bunch of kids teams just because I love kids, and I don't have any children myself, but I do try to get involved with a lot. But the military thing, I grew up in a military background. My dad, my brother, my stepfather were all in the service Army. So I love the structured lifestyle, but I know how hard those guys have it when they're overseas away from their families, and that routine is just it's a lot like bodybuilding where it's very rigid, same thing day in, day out. But I have a lot of respect, and these guys follow me because they all work out, right?
I'm sure they appreciate you coming by and motivating.
So I go to the
100%.
bases, and I do meet and greets, but I've actually switched now instead of doing it like the GNCs because I needed kind of a place to do this, and what more fits than where they sell supplements, right?
Right.
But now I've kind of now migrated to the gyms on base, and I'm actually in the gym. So when the guys come in to work out,
they're probably so excited.
I'm there. So my next one's scheduled for the end of June at Camp Pendleton for the Marines.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's my next visit. But I this is all donated time. I don't get paid to do it. And I tour with the USO. So when I was in Dubai last year, I went over to a couple bases. I flew to Kuwait the year prior and went to the base over there. And I just speak, and just motivate these guys. And it's just really cool that, I run into people all over the place. and they're like, man, I saw you in this country and that country, and you really motivated us. It was so cool that you came out, because like I've been to the worst, shittiest places in the world, right?
Yeah.
Not every place is like, people think, oh man, you're like a big bodybuilding guy and you travel to the best places and stay in the best hotels, but that's not always the case.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, because it's not available. You traveled and done like spots.
People think that about me too. Like
they think we're staying at the
like,
Ritz-Carlton and like the biggest suite there is, and it's just
even
not
when
the
I did
case.
Ninja Warrior, when I before I lived in Vegas, they flew us out for the finals. We stayed at the Hooters Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't at the MGM.
It's not always the money there to put everyone up at the Ritz.
And listen, as long as it's clean and it's decent, I'm okay with that. But listen, guys, it's not like, just because you're who you are, it's not like limousines and private jets and, I don't want that stuff, to be honest. Like, I don't even know if I'd ever really want, like, people offer that stuff to me all the time. Like, I don't even want it. Like, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
Hold on, you coined one of my favorite words, and you use the word dump all the time. What's your favorite dump? Your favorite dump?
Every place is a dump, even if it's great.
Yeah. He says Vegas is his favorite dump.
Teriyaki Boy is a dump. All these places we go to, the LVAC is a dump. EOS is a dump.
But he has a favorite dump, and he has a least favorite dump, and then he also has the pigs. I'm wearing the pig shirt right now. There's
a lot of meaning to the pigs. I mean, that's a great cheat day shirt, but it's funny because my brother still has 25 pigs sitting in his yard right now.
No way.
Yeah, so when I go home and I get on the Instagram or Snapchat, and I'm like, the pigs, and I show these big like pigs sitting there like doing nothing and just being lazy.
I was there when you started like this pig thing, and then people were just kind of caught on, and then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a t-shirt, and I came out with the pig shirt, and it's like my #1 seller.
I mean, it's a cute shirt.
Because when someone goes, if you went to go eat with your girlfriends or whatever, and Mikey texts you and he'd be like, what are you eating over there? And say you're eating sundaes and like pizzas and stuff, you'd make a pig emoji, right? And say, I'm eating like a pig, right?
Yeah.
So it's really caught on now because people see it in the general audience. Like people might see him in the gym and say, man, where'd you get that shirt? That's fucking awesome. Like the chicks wear it, the guys wear it. I mean,
it's the pig shirt.
Yeah. Okay, so cheat days. What would be like your ultimate cheat day meal?
When you were training?
Like,
Cheesecake Factory, carrot cake. Ooh. Is amazing with that frosting.
Oh.
Or In-N-Out Burger.
I saw a video of you.
You did.
So I would have 2 doubles with.
That's 3 or 4 patties.
I would do 4x4s too sometimes, but I would usually have two slices of cheese, 2 meat patties, right? And I would have a French fry well done, and I'd have no salt on anything, and I'd have a Coke. That would be like my
ultimate.
Once a week. Sounds good, man.
Once a week?
I should go get this after.
Look at it. I actually want to know this, and I don't know this answer. What is the calorie number that you used to hit, like to bodybuilding?
6,000 to 7,000 calories a day.
A day.
A day?
So I would try to eat like 12 to 16 ounces of meat every meal, and then at least 100 grams of carbohydrates. So 100 grams of carbs would be like 2 cups of white rice. It would be like 6 ounces of pasta. Then I would have the meat.
And that was just to fuel your muscles, so you had energy.
Yeah, it's 300 pounds. I'm 240 today, 235.
Oh, that's right, you were 300 when you competed.
So I was huge, and I thought I was like a glutton for food, man. All I did was eat. I'd have 30 egg whites for breakfast, and I would actually crack the eggs.
30 egg whites.
Yeah, so I would buy huge, like a whole box of eggs. So it'd be like a huge, and my whole refrigerator would be full of eggs, and I'd eat 30 for breakfast.
And you would just crack them and take the yolk out?
I would crack them before they had pasteurized. Actually, my wife did it at the time.
Bodybuilding sounds expensive.
Yeah,
because that's a lot of food.
And I was living in the bathroom a lot.
I
understand that life.
Man, you know what? If I had social media back then, man, it would be so. You find yourself. How much do you find yourself flipping through Instagram?
Oh my God, so much.
If we didn't have Instagram stories, like how boring would our life be? Right? I don't know if I look at people's hard posts anymore. I only look at their stories, to be honest.
Stories are more inviting, and they're more
It's just right there.
Yeah.
It's just up to date. It's reality, right? So you can see what people are doing minute to minute, right? And I think that's what's really cool about my fan base is they can see all that. like when I go in the gym and train and who I'm mixing with. The only problem is like the people that do know me, like they start hitting me up, oh, you with so-and-so or da-da-da-da-da. Because a lot of times I'm with like personalities and, with
Mikey. So someone that you would see, I don't know if you work out with her or not, but is Iris Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
She was over at City Athletic, right?
Yep.
And how do you feel about the big girls getting canceled?
You know what? I don't really have a take on it because I wasn't a huge fan of the women bodybuilders. I mean, she's 10-time Miss Olympia. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
She's the record holder, but I wasn't a huge fan. I think the girls got too big. I mean, I'm in favor more of the bikini. I'm a promoter, and I like to what the audience wants to see is what I favor, right? So men's physique, classic physique. I mean, those are the ones that are drawing the people now. Women's bikini, and I'm just not into muscular girls. I wouldn't date one. I'm nothing like Kay. I'm not sitting there saying it's terrible, but it's just not my look that I really like. I don't want to compete. I don't want to compete with someone that's trying to steal my eggs in the morning and chicken breasts and shit too.
I know.
Or taking the toilet when I need to use the toilet.
I think Kailah needs to do a bikini or physique one time.
Well, you have a great structure. Like you would be great at it, but to be honest, could you discipline yourself for 12 weeks on a very strict diet? I mean, listen, you have the genetics with your background, right? My fiance competes in bikini, but I watch her go through the rigid diet cycle, and it's like, man, she's moody sometimes, and I'd say, man, I was a real dick sometimes when I was dieting, right?
I bet. I would be such a bitch.
I had to lose 30 pounds when I got in shape for a show, and I was relatively lean, even being 30 pounds heavy. A lot of it was water. But man, I had to eat the fish. I ate 5 pounds of fish a day to get lean. So everything. I would bleed fish smell. You know what I mean?
Did you even enjoy it at that point?
I absolutely hated it, and I said, there has to be better. But when you're the best in the world at what you do, I mean, it was when I was holding that Sandow trophy. I was like, man,
I wonder how much fish a baby seal or something eats. I think probably around 5 pounds.
We're comparing you to a baby seal.
So I mean, the grocery bills were fucking astronomical.
I could imagine.
That's what I'm saying.
I would go to Costco and buy 40 pounds of fish every week.
They're probably what the?
Did you have 3 refrigerators at this time?
Yeah, I had a huge freezer in my garage that's still sitting there unplugged right now. Because now I have, I ought to have meal service or whatever. So it's much easier for me now.
The MegaFit. MegaFit's good.
And I get, teriyaki.
Oh, those are really good.
Teriyaki Boy Local. I mean, I have the J-Bowl and they hook me up. They sponsor me. So literally, I mean, we go there and eat for free all the time. Our favorite place, Habib's,
I know.
That changed
kebab
now.
place. There's the chicken kebabs. I thought we brought you there. I brought you food home.
I remember he ordered it, but that's at Mediterranean. It's on Decatur.
Yeah,
it went out of business.
Yeah.
Okay. I could have sworn that was the one next to Mayweather's gym. There's a place called something like that over there.
But you know what? It's there's a lot of great restaurants in Vegas, and that's another reason we live here, right? They're open late.
Yeah.
Yes, and we talk about that often. Not only do they have awesome gyms and climbing gyms and whatever we need, but there's so many healthy food options here in Vegas,
it's
greens
easy to
and
eat
protein, protein source, so much good stuff.
Yeah, the owner of Protein.
Yeah, of course, Protein
House.
Yeah, Andy, he's a good dude, and they take care of me when I go there.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I mean, that's a good thing about being who I am and being the fitness-related stuff. I mean, we roll around and just go wherever we want to go, right?
Why do you think I work out with him? We get free food all the time.
We get free food. We get, anyone can train at any gym.
Yep.
But we're filming most of the time. I mean, a lot of times we're on camera, right?
Yep. Yeah. Hold on, I know you wanted to ask this question. What? How do you feel about the other Jay Cutler?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I never met him. A lot of interviews that
have us relative.
I feel like you guys need to do something together.
Well, now he has a reality show, so his career is kind of... Listen, he was highly paid. He was getting $10 million a year, and he married the reality star. Mm-hmm. They have kids or whatever now, but it's just crazy because... Sports Illustrated interviewed both of us, and they mentioned us. And honestly, social media, we got kind of crossed because he didn't really have social media. So I would get blasted on Sundays when he didn't do so well.
No way.
And now
I didn't even think about that.
But now I'm getting tagged because they're like, man, Jay Cutler's a pretty good dude on the reality show. I've never watched one series of it yet.
Yeah,
but, they have their own show now.
Very Cavalieri, I think it's on
Yeah.
But he's a big part of it now, and so he's kind of stepped away. And listen, he was a great athlete.
I feel like there's a brand out there that is dropping the ball on this. You guys could do some cool
Something.
like halftime commercial together. Something funny with the two
like a
Jay
half football,
Cutlers.
half dumbbell on a shirt or something.
Someone is dropping the ball. So I was looking up things about you yesterday, preparing for this, and one of the sites that I was on Google says that you love collecting sports shoes. I don't know why, but I thought it was so funny.
You're a sneakerhead.
But they just worded it so weird. He loves collecting sports shoes.
I don't collect. I own and I wear.
Yeah. So you actually wear all of them.
I'm sponsored by Atomics, which is a weight shoe, right? But that's like what I train in most of the time. Today I'm wearing Jordans.
I feel like you have every pair of Jordans, or at least ones.
I'll tell you what happened. I had a shoe guy that, of course, being who I was.
I feel like all guys have a shoe guy.
Like a guy hit me up and he's like, "Listen, I can get you great shoes." And I said, "Okay." I'm one of these people you can kind of sell me anything if it's fashion or if it's relative to what I do. And I'm like, you know what? So I started buying shoes and I put it on my media, and then the fans would hit me up being like, "Oh, those are dope," and I didn't know anything about it.
And now you're doing the kick of the day.
People are like, "Man, you got those retro that," and I'm like, "What the fuck? I don't know what this is," right? So it caught on so well with the fans that I just kept buying stuff just to put it on media, and I honestly have probably 50 shoes that are super dope that I've never even laced up. that my shoe guy now hits me up and he's like, "Dude, I know you got those. Why don't you sell them? You can get like 10 times your money for them." And I'm like, "No, because I'm going to wear them."
Eventually.
You don't even know what you own.
No,
you just
I don't know. I built this, and we just redid our closets, and we have this whole room, and it's literally floor to ceiling, like shelving. And of course Angie's got shoes too, right? All expensive stuff. So
is she a sneaker girl?
Well, you know what the problem is? She saw my sneaker habits, and she's like, every time I ordered a pair of shoes, she'd be like, "Why didn't I get the same pair?"
I mean, I would ask the same question. Where are mine?
So let's put it this way: I stopped buying.
No more sneakers. Sneakerhead thing is done.
So I haven't been buying a lot of shoes. So. I should get back to it though, since you guys did bring it to my attention.
I think so.
That might be. I might order like 6 pairs of shoes next week
for the fans.
Yeah. Well, we only have a couple minutes left, but I know Kailah wanted to get this one question in before we finish up. Do you have any regrets with your bodybuilding career?
Thanks.
I don't have any regrets. People would expect me to, like, say, career choices. Listen, family suffered a lot, friendships, relationships, but I didn't speak any foreign language, and that's probably the most disappointing, right? I don't speak anything but English. I've dated.
And you travel all over.
I traveled all over. I should at least learn Spanish. I've dated 2 Spanish girls, currently 1 now, and I just don't know any words other than a couple bad words. So I kind of wish I learned the language. German, Spanish would be 2 languages I probably wish that I learned.
That's an interesting
That's a regret because I'm still actively in those countries every year. So there's no reason why I need to bring a Spanish-speaking person with me everywhere I go.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, wow.
What do you speak?
I just speak English.
What do you speak?
Me too.
Yeah. And she's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I'm half Puerto Rican.
But Puerto Rican isn't real Spanish.
I've learned. That's a diss.
I've learned that because my fiance is Puerto Rican.
Does she speak Spanish?
She speaks Spanish, but it's Puerto Rican Spanish.
It's like Spanglish.
It's its own. No, it's its own dialect.
It just comes out like randomly,
Yeah. Oh, when she's pissed at you, I'm sure. That's when things get scary.
You know the tempers of those Puerto
Ricans. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I know.
Mike, it's okay.
I know. I got it.
So, last question. Where do you see yourself in the future? Like, I don't know, 10 years, 5 years?
Everyone always asks me that question.
Really?
That's a hard question.
Such an awkward question. Because
why?
Because if you asked me at 10 where I would be at 20 or 20 to 30 or...
Well, you're not I mean, obviously you're still in good shape, but you're not bodybuilding.
I know, but I don't have any... If you said, okay, what do you want in life, right? I want health and happiness at this point. I don't look at like wealth or like material things, right? Because I've had it all. But like I'm 45, I'll be 46 this year. And I'm like, man, I want to live to like 65 or 75, healthy and be able to be active and be able to give back continually and just continue to have success in what I do. But most importantly, I like to wake up every morning and be able to go for my walk. I hope I can continue to train. Like, if I can't train, I go crazy. And even my workouts are very, very, they're very easy compared to what I used to do. But I love, you guys are the same. I mean, I see you guys in the gym. What if you couldn't work out for 2 weeks?
I did when I got my boobs done.
I know, but you were going crazy,
I was
right?
going nuts.
So like I missed 3 days and then I'm just a mental mess.
Yeah.
She knows.
So if I can't, I mean, Mike, you train 2-3 times a day sometimes.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I don't even do
Psycho.
that, but I do my morning walk in the morning for 30 minutes. Anyone that follows me on media knows that's my meditation. So I kind of set myself up for the day no matter what. And then I do my work. Like I worked out like a couple hours ago, just 30 minutes. I went to the Durango EOS, which was absolutely packed, by the way.
Oh my God.
I'll probably never go back at 4
That place
o'clock.
is a dump.
Yeah,
So-
another dump.
So, and then I went to my office, and then of course I came here. I'm going to go back to work now. But man, working out, being healthy, traveling, promoting, doing what I do, giving back. I hope I can continue to work deep with the military. And inspiring the younger generation, man. Like I realize now I'm at an age where people like, wow, I look up to you because you become a legend, which I've considered like
You do.
as an older person, right? So I just want to continue to do what I do and be like the guy in fitness, right?
That was actually my last thing I was going to say. Is there any advice you want to give the up-and-coming bodybuilders or physique fitness people?
Listen, you got to have a goal. You got to take like baby steps to get there. You don't just start training at 18 saying I'm going to win the Mr. Olympia or become like a social media like
Christian Guzman overnight.
It doesn't happen. I mean, ask Christian Guzman this question. He would tell you, I never imagined I'd be as big as I am. I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like you just became a personality. And did you ever think it would take it this far? And the people that tell you, oh, I knew I would be, they're full of shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, listen, the odds are against everyone, but it's the people that work the hardest, believe in themselves, take the right path, and and they're just good all around people that usually have the most success and people respect the most. So if I can stay respected and continue to succeed and be happy doing it and not feel like I'm a victim of my job, I will be the happiest, and that's what I want to continue to do.
100%.
I like that advice.
All right, well.
I think it's time to go work out now.
Yeah, it's time to go work out. Follow him on social media. It's
Yeah, you want to plug your social media?
Workout number 3 for you guys.
Yeah. At Jay Cutler on Instagram.
At Jay Cutler Instagram, Jay Cutler TV, YouTube.
And your Twitter is at Mr.
At Mr. O.J. Cutler Twitter. I don't use as much, but I mean, I tag it here and there. But, CutlerNutrition.com, CutlerAthletics.com.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on and on. Just at Jay Cutler, but
Huge.
the bodybuilding Jay Cutler.
Yeah, not the football player. He's different.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming by.
Thanks
This
for
is
coming,
awesome.
Jay. It was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Awesome. Thanks.